Deepwoken sports a world dominated by vows of all kinds. Vows that restrict, vows that grant, with the majority landing somewhere in the middle of that spectrum. Vows seep into all aspects of daily life upon the Luminance, the most striking avenue of influence being the oaths one can swear to in-game. From Arc Warder to Vision Shaper, the player can swear to countless oaths, all of which completely alter the nature of your person. In this informal series covering the lore behind every oath in Deepwoken, we'll be doing just that, touching on every oath in-game. Today we explore the BLINDSEER oath, how you obtain it, its lore implications, and its unique history that ties directly to the old world. Trust me when I say that the BLINDSEER are way more interesting than you think. Don't worry, I intend to show you why. Before I get into that, remember to like the video and subscribe. The more reach these videos get, the more they directly impact Deepwoken's lore. Thank you for all the support recently, I really appreciate it. With that out of the way, let's dive straight into the lore behind Deepwoken's first proper oath, BLINDSEER. So we've got ourselves a video on BLINDSEER. Fun fact, BLINDSEER was the first oath actually added to the game. To be honest, I still remember the days where it was either BLINDSEER or Oathless. I remember it like it was yesterday. Curb the unk comments, I know my viewer base. I'm sure all of you are familiar with the requirements to become a BLINDSEER, but just in case you aren't, I'll quickly run through it for the one time. You'll need 40 willpower and the 3 talents from the Mental Fortress set, this being Breathing Exercise, Conquer Your Fears, and Disbelief. You'll also need to blind yourself, but don't worry, you won't need to pick the blind floor and run around progressing like Matt Murdock before the chemical spill. You can also temporarily blind yourself using actual blindfolds, and well, once you've done that, visit the Temple of the Forgotten Flame in Erizio. In a left-hand passage in the temple, you'll find some glyphs scrawled on the wall. Once you've met the requirements for the oath, you'll be able to read them and boom, you're a BLINDSEER. Now all you've got to do is hold some Pathfinders, plays with no oaths, through the depths trial and you'll progress the oath. With that out the way, we'll get into the gritty lore details behind this oath. Every oath in game involves swearing yourself to some sort of cause, so I'm sure you're asking yourselves, what master or means control the BLINDSEER? Well, those of you that swear the oath to become a BLINDSEER quite literally blind yourselves to protect from the horrors of the world. And well, once you're blinded, you seek to protect others from the threats that you metaphorically and literally protect yourselves from. In simple terms, you're protecting yourself from insanity. You're literally blinding yourself to prevent overstimulation and the eventual head popping you'd experience in the depths. And because you can't force other people to blind themselves, obviously, you then swear this oath to defend them from the insanity that you defend yourself from. Sounds kind of confusing when you put it that way, but I'm sure you get it. That's pretty cut and dry, right? Well, that hasn't really answered our original question. What masters do the BLINDSEERs serve? Well, we find ourselves obtaining the oath through the Temple of the Forgotten Flame. It's possible that the BLINDSEER oath originated in this place and that the temple was originally a hotbed for BLINDSEERs old and new. If these BLINDSEERs were operating out of this temple, where did they go? There's really no way to tell, but I'd have to assume that the numbers were slowly whittled down by the forces of the depths. Regardless of how devoted you are, going into the depths and putting your own life at risk to save somebody you don't know, who might just die anyways, is a massive task. It's not surprising that there aren't any BLINDSEERs left that we know of. They're likely dead in the depths, or they quit out of fears for their own safety. Now, stick with me here. Let's ask ourselves, why is this temple not called the Temple of the BLINDSEER? Well, because of the Forgotten Flame, the Forge of Sin. This is where the Duke stole the Forge of Sin from, right? For some context, the Forge of Sin is a powerful relic capable of transferring souls. It's currently in the possession of Duke Erizio, as he stole it to maintain his army of golems. Well, why was the Forge of Sin in this temple in the first place? Think about it, the Forge has been rumored to be linked to Coral Fiend. It's been described as an incredibly influential relic, and it was so powerful that the Duke went out of his way to take it from the temple by force. Why was a relic of this potency just sitting in the home of the BLINDSEER? Of course, I have an idea. Check me out. So let's imagine that the Lightkeeper Temple is the former home of all the ancient BLINDSEER, or at the very least where they once trained. It's a nice place, cozy and all, but one day things change. On a regular expedition to the depths, an irregularity rears its head. It's not another dead BLINDSEER, no, it's the Forge of Sin. My theory is that a long time ago, a group of ancient BLINDSEER encountered the Forge of Sin either in the depths or somewhere else, but the fact is that they've had it in their possession. They take it back to the temple and they decide to guard it. Whether that's because they knew it could be used to cause mass death, or because it was valuable, or simply because it was shiny, their choice remains the same. It's almost like a curse, to be honest. It looks as if the moment they dragged that forge through the gates of their temple, they doomed the future BLINDSEER to eventually die out. Well, maybe they died out, but didn't die altogether. Maybe the reason there's no BLINDSEER left to teach us their oath nowadays is because they didn't let the Duke take their ancient relic willingly. Maybe the resistance of these powerful souls inspired the magnum opus of the Duke arsenal. Maybe, just maybe, Duke used the Forge of Sin to transfer the powerful souls of the remaining Blindseer into the bodies of his prime golems that guard his laboratory. Think about it. If the golems require a soul to operate, wouldn't these Vantablack prime golems require a stronger soul to wield a stronger body? Just some food for thought. Regardless of the circumstances of their disappearance, the numerous Blindseer that undeniably once existed have vanished from the face of the earth. You, as the last Blindseer, are the last living vestiges of their will, and their glorious purpose is your responsibility to bear, unwillingly or not. Thank you for watching this video, I appreciate it. Sorry for the noise in the background. I haven't been able to daily upload because I swear to God, there's been this industrial vacuum cleaner outside my house and I can't even hear anything. It's like I've got Siren Head outside my door. But I really appreciate all the support recently. I think I'm getting back into the swing of creating videos and I actually have a schedule now. Hooray! I'll probably deviate from this schedule fairly often, but it helps to keep myself accountable for missing deadlines. I want to treat this like my profession, taking y'all and what you want seriously. Stay blessed, stay well as always. I'll see you in the next video. Ooh, I've got some shit planned, I promise. God bless you.